What's up? We're back.
What's going on?
Monday. Fun day.
At it again.
Monday fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Back again.
We ran some questions through social media. Did y'all get any?
Yeah, I got a ton.
Got too many that I had to just,
I had to
narrow
cut
it
it down
to one.
Yeah. No, I got two actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I got
Nice.
two. I forget. Neiman DM'd it to me.
Nice.
Neiman.
Yeah. Good old
First time question.
Shout out Neiman. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the
so.
early shout out.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's been cranking out those macro shots lately.
Yeah.
He showed me the other day.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah.
good.
Uh-huh.
How was
Hey, that bet ain't free, brother.
That's true. How was the weekend?
Great.
Did y'all do anything?
The
fun?
best weekend ever, actually.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
Shit. I don't know.
Exciting
I had,
news.
No.
I had a pretty interesting weekend. Nothing too crazy. Lift, of course, we filmed a great video that'll be out
Yeah, Tuesday, tomorrow.
basically when it'll be
When y'all
posted,
hear
I
this,
guess,
yeah.
when y'all hear this. So go check out that training video. Is a chest and back day. Very good one. We showed a little skin. Got a little naked.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So check that out.
Boys were
Dang.
dripping.
Pants
Set on
pants
the
on
only
is not
games?
required.
Nope.
So we did that. Also sampled. Well, he got to sample it. There wasn't much left, so don't feel bad, Griffin. The last SFP. Do they know the? No, they know the acronym.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I didn't spoil anything.
Whatever.
The next mystery product.
Yeah.
Sampled the flavor, the last scoop, and I think it's a go.
Nice.
But anyway, that went on. But I haven't touched on it because it happened. Maybe I touched on it briefly last podcast. But I've been dealing with an IT band injury. So running's been low the past week, trying to just work through it. And it's something I want to touch on later, but I won't bring it up now. As far as like injuries and recovery and all that. But Saturday after chest and back, went for a run. Felt like I could go like 100% again. So I was super happy and excited. And I was like, damn, I'm back in business. And then so Sunday, felt good in the morning, hit arms, great workout, went to run. And a little bit midway through, I think what kind of triggered it was like the trail going a little bit hilly. But knee started acting up. Definitely felt pain, so I stopped early, made sure I didn't destroy it again, and I was like, damn, just one step back. So, but came in today, hit legs, felt good. I can basically do every movement lifting wise except leg extension and lying leg curl, which is kind of interesting.
You were doing that today?
Well, I did a little bit of leg curl, but if you notice, I was doing basically half reps, or I would do like 70% of the movement. I wouldn't come fully extended near my knee, because when I fully extend it under like tension, it just adds like pressure in that area.
Like contraction or like stretching?
Doesn't really
Extension.
matter, because it's on leg. If it's on lying leg curl, it's at that extension, or it's on the eccentric, right?
Yeah.
At the bottom. If I let it go all the way,
Gotcha.
I feel like it almost feels like
Like your knee's about to explode or what?
no, not even the knee, because it's the I feel it on the outer portion of my knee,
Yeah.
but it's really the IT band, on the outside of the knee that kind of crosses underneath like the patella. But whatever the origin of the issue makes me feel it elsewhere, if that makes sense. So it almost feels like my knee's a little bit like unstable or painful, but that's not really the issue. That's where I'm feeling the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, and then when I'm doing leg extension, it's of course at the top, the extension, the contraction portion. So I can't really do that. But lunges felt good, front squats felt good, everything else good. RDLs feel great. So I'm lucky that I can still train, but I'm frustrated with that.
He's our hero.
Moral of the story:
I know.
Our
don't
hero.
run.
Yeah. More of the story, never run. But it's one of those things I've been working through, and it just takes time and weeks to heal. But I'm trying to I don't know. The way I've always approached injuries, whether it's been like a partial like hamstring tear I've had before, or like other more minor injuries, is I always feel like motion is lotion, and just like continuing to kind of do the same movements that cause you pain, but to a lesser extent, either lesser load or like different range of motion or shorter range of motion, and then gradually, as it feels better, as days go on, increasing the range of motion or load and kind of working back to the same movement. Because I think sometimes people just like completely rest. Like a doctor will tell you, okay, no more lifting or no more running, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that'll work. But I feel like you can almost recover quicker and almost still be active while you're recovering if you just kind of play it by ear and just do as much as your body, not like push it to the limit, but at least kind of work in those same movements. Because a lot of times just adding blood flow to the area, you're flushing in more nutrients, flushing in things that are going to help speed up recovery, and you're kind of improving or continuing to maintain that range of motion. Like one thing I did when I had my hamstring I consider like a partial tear just based off what I experienced, was I made sure I didn't just leave it in an extended position all the time. I tried to kind of work the flexion in the knee. I tried to do a bike at like the slowest pace imaginable, but just pedaling real slow. Not only added blood flow, but it also kind of worked the flexion and extension in the knee. Yeah. And I think that helped me recover a lot quicker to where when I did get back to deadlifts and things like that, it wasn't like I was missing that range of motion and now I have to like stretch and do all these mobility exercises to like regain what I once had before the injury.
That's always something I thought was really cool that I learned. I can't remember if it was a class or internship, but that the joint moving through its range of motion is what gives it the most, like you said, oxygen and nutrients, since it's not really like a red blood cell component of the body like a muscle would be. And giving the synovial fluid, which flows through the joint, the most kind of nutrients it needs is basically from moving it through its full range of motion. So I always think that that's cool, but also kind of counterintuitive to like modern medicine, to where if you hurt your elbow, it's in a sling for months or other things like that. So I feel like, you know, like you said, motion lotion, and the quicker you can kind of get it through its paces, even if it's lesser, it's better. So,
I'm a bit of a doctor myself.
Yeah. Source me.
Yeah. Source me. Study my body.
So
I agree.
But what's the update with the tubs?
So we got in 3 sample tubs, or like blank tubs,
I'll grab one.
that will be for the newest flavor of Overcome, which will be our second flavor. So right now we have homemade lemonade, which everybody has fucking loved and has been begging to come back, which hopefully will be back within a week. Cross your fingers. Pray hard. But yeah, that's a new tub, and you can see we're going with a white lid for this one, or white tub.
Let your imagination run.
Yeah, so
Good
flavors
number.
definitely, number 5.
Taint's going to stay.
But flavor's definitely going to be totally different than the homemade lemonade.
You're going to have to
There you
bleep
go.
that shit.
Flavor's going to be different than the...
Suck it. But that's all you get. You get that's what you get for watching the show.
That's what I was going to say. That's what
You get
for
little
watching the show.
drops.
You know what? You skip around, you missed out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But this, expect like 8 to 9 weeks from now. So
Nice. I'm excited.
hold your
Next
horses.
Party in the gym.
but
it's
it's-
popping off.
But
right.
it's not purely orange, so don't get your
No.
don't feel like
No.
you know too much.
Orange
but,
lemonade.
There will be some kind of I don't know what you call it, a campaign, a contest or something, but there is going to be some kind of secret giveaway or kind of thing that's going to run, right?
Oh yeah.
That's going to kind of kick off the flavor, be a little secret, be a chance for customers to kind of get a chance to get a free tub of the new flavor once it comes out. So more details on that when they get ironed out. But
working on some things.
yeah, we stay working in the HQ.
We don't know what we're doing, but we stay working.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of just trip our way into the next
Yeah,
success.
it's kind of
like
retarded.
So.
It is retarded.
No, it is.
But things are good. Samples are here. We did sample, like Brock mentioned, that last sample of the new product, which I was running some things today because tax day today, 17th, and I was like, man, it's going to be tight. Get that out. Reason being is because we only have like 100 units left of Walk the Lime and like maybe less than that of Cherry.
Oh, so
And we have to restock 500 of each of those flavors next go around. So that's even double the money that needed to probably get placed before we know it. So it is what it is. Something we can look at over the next day or so.
Depends how fast Overcome moves.
Depends.
Yeah.
That'll kind of catch things.
And that would need to restock as well immediately, probably once it lands. Put in a restock order for that. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. It sucks, but yeah, it's, I guess, growing pains, but also just
Send money, please.
yes, please buy our products.
Yeah.
But things are good.
Gym update.
Oh yeah. So it's you can kind of say a little bit about it, Griffin, because you've been gone for like 5 days, but I feel like you came back. Maddie's got blonde hair. I'm injured. We got new like signs up, new equipment out there. But yeah, we got in a new platform I ordered like 2 weeks ago, and so slowly packages were coming in. We've had those wooden handmade platforms at the gym for a while that are 6 by 4 feet. And they're typical deadlift size. They're good. You can use them. But I wanted to kind of upgrade it a little bit for our competitive powerlifters, and also we do have a few CrossFitters or people that do some Olympic lifts, some cleans and things like that that would definitely benefit from the larger space. So we got a 6x8 Olympic lifting platform. So those rubber mats inside, nice frame, everything like that. It looks super clean on the wall. I feel like just it being like black on black just looks, I don't know, it just looks cool to me. And that'll be super nice. That was kind of interesting building that out. It didn't take that long for me and Austin to kind of put it together. But then we realized, basically I bought these floor plates that go with it that are these kind of like long, thin panels or whatever that go underneath the mats that I thought, or they were supposed to basically allow you to not have to drill the frame into the ground, because we got these band pegs. If there's enough band tension, technically like the frame could lift up as someone's deadlifting and the mats would stay on the floor. It'd kind of be wild. So I bought these floor plates that are supposed to kind of counteract that. The problem is, though, the floor plates created an unevenness in the mats, and it kind of had things slope down in the middle. And I was like, this isn't going to be good. This is going to look and feel goofy. So luckily, we had a member. Shout out to Rich. I doubt he's going to listen to this or knows it exists. But shout out to one of our members who has a hammer drill and some experience and helped us drill the drill the platform into the ground. So nice. It ain't going nowhere.
What'd you do with the old platform?
Sold that to a
Nice.
member. Yeah.
And listen,
Was it hard to
dude
move?
got a great fucking deal because wood is up there right now.
That is true. Yeah, you probably
and
strip
how
it.
much wood was in that? Let's say.
Yeah,
You could sell it to a
scrapping.
contractor. They'd go build a house with it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Dang.
deadlift platform in the wall.
But no, I mean, it was kind of heavy, but we let them carry it out.
But
Nice.
pretty good deal for them, good deal for us. I mean, it was fine. So the other one I'll eventually replace with a 6x4 Rogue platform as well, but it'll be a little while. But that competition plate's coming today.
Nice.
Buying a couple more. If you don't know, the ones that we currently have are Jahan's, and thankfully he leaves those and a few bars of his out there, which are really nice. But obviously, we need to buy our own and also buy more in general for all of our members, as our powerlifting members and just members in general are. Our memberships are growing, so we need more plates, and especially for those competitive lifters, and for more equipment that we have coming very soon. So slowly kind of building up our repertoire with calibrated plates.
Yeah.
But,
Which, by the way, it was cool to see powerlifting pastor Josh, right?
Josh, yeah.
Josh the other day breaking in the new fucking platform.
Yeah.
700 for three.
Yeah.
I said, dude's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ripped him out. I was like,
Dude,
holy
when you got
shit.
God on your side.
Yeah, he ate Chick-fil-A
Holy
beforehand.
shit. Did he?
I don't know.
don't know.
That's the
that is
fuel from
well.
above.
If it was on a Sunday, it wouldn't happen.
Damn. But no, yeah,
he's a beast.
He had risen.
Yeah.
700 for
Dude.
three.
He's pretty stupid strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative that he's a member. Yeah, I mean he does some crazy strong things. It scares me though because he'll have me spot him sometimes on bench. I know I've told you guys this, and he has like this pec issue or shoulder issue, something like that makes it unstable. And I'm like, you're having me spot you on like a 400-pound bench, and you're telling me right before you go under it,
Pec's a little funny.
yeah, pec feels a little funny, so you might need to grab it. I'm like, bro, like
He's got the Crocs
First
on.
off, I'm in Crocs, and
Yeah.
I barely deadlift.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But,
no, yeah.
oh, shit.
Dang.
Buckle up.
Yeah, I just don't have the leverage for that. Even when I was like spotting Jahan on like 455 bench and he needed me to kind of grab it, I was like, bro, I hope you're pushing too, because
You feel how
otherwise
heavy it
this is going to be this is your last day on earth.
Yeah.
And that your last vision's going to be my nuts over your face.
Yeah, yeah, just scrambling.
Just fucking-
Yeah. Man,
Dang.
that wouldn't be a good way to go out.
Yeah. But that's cool. You did, I mean, I saw you posted a screenshot, but you did order some other equipment that'll take some time to get here.
Yeah. I mean, since I posted the screenshot, I can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what we got, but we got 3 machines from Arsenal Strength that should be here in like September. Super excited for that.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
you
For
know,
some reason, I thought it was 4.
I thought about 4.
Oh.
4 was on the table, but
The guy talked you out of it.
Gotcha.
guy kind of talked me out of it, and I figured we swap in this. Yeah. So, but I think machines that people are really gonna like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if all goes well, by the time those are here, honestly, we might put in another order with Arsenal if everything goes well.
Yeah.
And get a few more pieces, especially ones that people are dying to have.
Yeah, because you're the most. What did the guy say? The
Most
best
hated.
customer.
Oh
the
yeah,
most,
yeah.
Well, that's every sales guy. If you're a customer of mine, you're my favorite.
Well, I did. You know what? I had a heartfelt with him though, because I feel like he rarely. has people personally call him, and I only called him because it took a while to get an email. But I talked to him on the phone for a good bit before I even got my first quote, and then talked to him after. So, salesmen are salesmen, but at the same time, I feel like, he was probably going in a little bit more detail, and I was a little bit nicer than most. So,
He said, you're going to need a little bit of this.
Yeah, you're going to need a little bit of this, though. But super excited for our members for that. Obviously, we've been getting, a machine or two each month, but these will be new. They'll be very special. Yeah. There's certain brands that you just can't find without buying new almost, you know? And I think part of that is, sometimes like Atlantis, they're Canadian brands, so they're harder to get, but also B, I feel like some machine companies are so good that whoever got them, they're either still in business or they're so precious that they didn't give them up. Like, you don't really find, Atlantis stuff just lying around for the most part, or Prime or Arsenal. Like, you just don't find that on the open market unless it's new.
Yeah, like typically. Every time I got on Facebook when we were first looking for shit, you never come across stuff like
hammer
that.
string, Cybex, Precore, stuff's more common. Some of those pieces, like the flat press from hammer string, that's a little more rare, some things like that. Anyway, so super excited about that.
Was one of the three chest supported? Do I remember right?
Two of them, technically.
Okay.
Well, you're kind of giving away some things.
Yeah,
but
whatever. That's what you get for listening to the show.
Chest-supported squat machine.
That's it.
Yeah.
Chest-supported calf raise.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to be upper body based, but
fuck lower body anyways, right?
Ideally, though, when
pants.
we move things a little bit, we can kind of reassess space and we can buy some cool ass leg stuff. But give us time, support the gym. You get what you want.
That's right.
But that's kind of like the update with the gym. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I wrote it on the board because I know I talked to you about it, and I was talking to Maddie about it. So last Thursday or Friday, I was working Griffin, and sometimes I'll throw in music in the background, whatever I find, and usually I'm a big 90s music guy. Really, kind of anything before 2000s or early 2000s I can get into. But I stumbled upon Third Eye Blind's self-titled album, and I don't know if you're.
I've only ever heard the
Semi-Charmed.
Yeah,
Semi-Charmed Life. So they have Semi-Charmed Life, Jumper, and How's It Gonna Be are their main three hits. Uh-huh. I didn't know that they all those three hits are on the same album. Is their first album, so it kind of goes downhill from there. But B, there's some other really good songs on that album, especially the first 7 tracks. I feel are just they're just such masterpieces. Not only the feel and the vibe, because you get this nostalgic feeling of that kind of late high school to late 20s kind of area of life, to where you're just in this time period where you're dealing with relationship struggles and who you are and all these kinds of
things.
Hormones, shit's wild. And so they kind of hit you with those vibes, and I just feel they paint such a perfect picture with the tracks that there's just a lost art of songwriting for the most part nowadays, that this band, I feel I don't know, you feel the breakup or the heartbreak that you've never actually had. You feel the girl that you're longing for that doesn't even exist in your life, but you feel it in that song.
And
I feel I feel when songs or artists can do that, it's crazy. And another thing too is the album from top to bottom, I can listen through the entire thing and enjoy it. You can't do that nowadays because most of it is just a few hit songs and just fluff.
Yeah.
And that, and then also it doesn't have a general theme, but a lot of albums back then had a full-on theme and a vibe from album to album. Even I was telling you, another one I listened to that same day was by No Doubt, and it was Tragic Kingdom, and that it just had a different vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just feel I wrote on the board best decade for music, because I don't know if y'all had to pick a decade, what it would be. I know for me it'd just be in 90s, because it's a time period that A, I wasn't even born in, B, I definitely wasn't old enough to actually live in that era and appreciate the music, but I just feel the music just hits me. Whether it's rap, rock, alternative pop, I can almost vibe with anything from that time period.
Yeah, I would say maybe 80s and then early 2000s are my favorites. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, because on the way home, I made a playlist of early 2000s music and was just cruising to it. And it is funny,
I have a
like
playlist
all
like
those
that.
genres too,
Yeah.
or all those artists. I'm like, dang, like they're gone too soon, or like we don't hear that music anymore. Or I wonder sometimes, like, is it a relic of that era in the same way that you listen to 70s or 80s music and you kind of, whether the way it was recorded, the instruments, like the general like theme of it all, or if it just brings you back to like a time that you were young and you remember like just the
So that's
same
what
feeling
early
of childhood.
2000s does for me, and 90s almost does it without me even existing.
Yeah.
It's just it's wild too. A simpler time.
Yeah.
What would you say, Austin?
I think that anything pretty much agreeing with you. Anything I still enjoy some, and there's people have like it's very sparse now. Those like purebred like artists
That's
are
not
slowly
like
getting
some
watered down.
executive
Yes.
that coordinates your music.
It's
for you.
like they're definitely watered. Like the industry's watered down, in my opinion. It's a lot of like one-hit wonders, or like what's trending on TikTok, or like some bullshit that. Like what's trendy.
It's a
what's
song
nothing
designed to
that's
go
here
viral.
today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah,
type
nothing
thing.
that's going to stand the test of
No,
time.
like 10 years later, you're not going to be listening to some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But or even shorter.
Yeah.
But early 2000s and before for sure. And there's something in that, and even further back, like in 80s, late 80s, maybe early 90s as well, that it's like, there's actual emotion and heart put into stuff, maybe experiences. And some of these bands that are coming out, it's just like very just repetitive and very vague. Some of their lyrics, it's like very broad. It's not like, it doesn't get like building a connection or a relationship. Like what you're saying with yours, it gives you some type of relationship or connective like tissue to it per se. But all these like newer songs, even artists that are coming out now, it's like very vague, or it's just like there's no like connection.
Well,
built.
they're just general themes too. Like a lot of the songs you look up, and you not only like when you look up the lyrics, you see like, singer from Third Eye Blind or whoever wrote this about blank relationship you went through, and you're like, you can feel like the pain or what he's talking about in his voice when he's singing it and writing it. But when these people nowadays are just, whether it's someone else that writes it for them or they write it themselves, but it's a very, like you said, broad general thing. It's like you can tell it doesn't actually mean something to them. Yeah. Just by the way it's written and the way it's sung.
For sure.
So I feel like that's just what's driving it.
And like listen to, I think you'll connect with me a little bit. Both of y'all will. It's just like, think of people like Allman Brothers Band or Marshall Tucker Band or like some of those older bands. Everything was so technical with every instrument. Like they were a true artist.
Absolutely.
Now it's just like 3 chords and repeat.
Too,
it's not like, very that when you didn't have to hear the music.
I was listening to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, and it's like you hear the bass guitar, and like without that, the song's off. Yeah. You hear the drums, and it's just everything is important.
I was talking to Maddie about this a little bit ago, which this was on the subject of like AI and like computer like sentience and stuff like that.
Conspiracy meeting.
Well, she was talking about a book
like
she was reading, but I was talking about this in regards to Tesla. So one of their like bigger marketing things at the beginning was saying that they would take the car out to like Greenland to some ice patch, and they would floor it and then try to like brake and turn on the ice. And the selling point was that the computer inside the car can predict when the car will lose its friction in the tire and then adjust accordingly, to where like when you drive normally, there's that latency between your action and when you recognize something that happens. And also you sometimes just have human error. But I wonder sometimes, as things become more digital or like more robot controlled, it's almost like how you can tell when a song has like a electronic like percussion that's like wired to a certain beat versus like an actual drum player, or when you have like a handmade bowl versus like you can get some pristine like IKEA bowls, but they're made from a machine or something like that, to where even if something is perfect, there's something that you almost like feel, or like the imperfections or subtleties you can kind of, I don't know, it's different. You can kind of like
to imperfection.
To where a band like Allman Brothers or Marshall Tucker, they all recorded in the same studio, and it wasn't like somebody Skyping in a file or something like that from a little way
and just laying it over.
Yeah, and then B, I feel like you said, there's something that you can almost feel when you can tell that the band like wrote it themselves. Because that was one of the things as a kid that surprised me so much when I would learn that artists like, oh, somebody else wrote this song for them, or like other things like that. Like I always just thought, man, they're so talented. Like they can sing, they play the instruments, they write the song. And it was so weird to think like some record executive just comes up with this and it gets sold to somebody and that's their song. To where I feel like if I was a performer, I wouldn't have a connection to this. Like somebody just gave it to me and I'm supposed to sing it. Like that's the one thing I've always liked, like more singer-songwriter stuff, to where, and going off of concerts too, I feel like you know that the person is not that great of a singer or performer if they have like background dancers at a show. I feel like it's almost like a distraction too. So
yeah, that was something that I know we talked about before too, because sometimes instead of like albums on YouTube or whatever, I'll play like live music, and sometimes just hearing something live, like it is the imperfection or the mistakes or you know, that just make it ring true. But I just can't look up a live, I mean there's some, but for the most part, especially mainstream bands, you can't look up a live artist from the past decade and actually hear them either singing the song or with an actual group. It's just like, you know, it's just popular or pretty girl song, like singing it, just plopped into any kind of band or synth or, you know, whatever that they just want to play.
It's tough because like I mentioned, there's still like sparse like stars out there.
There's talent out there.
Because like I watched a few modern, you know, I get what you're saying. The most mainstream shit that everybody, the top 40, you won't find them live. If you do find it live, it's either lip synced,
it ain't really live,
or what the fuck ever. But I've watched a few. Let's say, for example, I forgot one of the fuckers' names, but guys, Chris Stapleton, like some of his live acoustic shit's very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But people like that, but they aren't like. He is mainstream, but for country, but not mainstream.
Yeah,
like
there's one of like folk
40.
style type group that I really like out of Columbus. That, you know, they still make. I mean, most of their songs are just using like two guitars and sometimes a drum beat, and obviously their voice too. And so I feel like, you know, even Chris Stapleton, most of his songs are very like acoustic and simple. You know, but I feel like, you know, it's hard to, you know, take something that's like a more digital or a hip hop beat based and do that live. I get that, but
and sometimes I find too that some of those people, they don't really have like a good voice, but it's like very unique, and that like resonates with you too.
And they can always like fix it in post, which is you know what happens to a lot of these songs. You know, especially like I feel like some of these pop stars they push, they just, you know, you hear them live, and you're like, that sounds nothing like it does. You know.
Speaking of live, best live song that me and you both know on 3. 1, 2, 3. Whiskey on Ice.
Jinx.
I saw it coming. We made eye contact. Travis Tritt. Beautiful song. Beautiful.
We were cruising listening to that the other day.
Beautiful.
So Austin learned it on guitar too. So next time y'all come out to the farm,
you get a live performance.
Oh, fuck. Really?
That's Travis's cousin right there.
Oh, shit.
Howling at the moon.
Yeah. All denim. Overalls and nothing else.
That's what I've been growing out the mullet.
Lone wolf there.
See, you wrote some good topics, Griffin. You dive into those.
So I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was trying to learn a little bit more about kind of like elements of the fitness industry or other things that people that are like quote unquote influencers do. Or people that are kind of like more established as far as like being their own brand. And so I was thinking about this because I know this is something that you and I talked about last year when everything was like shut down. And we were trying to figure out, you know, are there other ways that we could like get an income going that weren't just like unemployment or other things like that. And that was something that you had talked to me about when it came to saving for the gym. Was I think it was like that 4-Hour Work Week book or something like that you had read, but just kind of maximizing your time and like the revenue that you can earn from your time. And I was thinking about that because when I was coming home, I was just thinking about, you know, both of you guys are very like just driven in different ways and entrepreneurial minded as far as like you just kind of chase whatever's next. And once you understand something or accomplish something, you don't just sit on your laurels. You kind of figure out, okay, well, now what can I do with this now that this is successful? And so I was just thinking about that because while it was a shot in the dark and a little bit of I don't know, a risk for me to move to doing everything freelance or kind of independent. It's been really nice to see that grow. But now I'm wondering, like with both of you guys, what things can I start doing to, like, I don't know, put money towards other things that would be like successful going forward too. And also I feel like as I've gotten busier with training, it's hard sometimes because, you know, if somebody wants to train at 7 a.m, now your 7 a.m. is booked. So if somebody else wants to train with you, you've got to train at 6 a.m. or something like that too. So I feel like I'm starting to be more spread thin as far as time goes. But it would be really nice to maybe start thinking of some other things that I could do that would be kind of beneficial for people, but also could free up some more time for me. Or you put in work on the front end and get paid from the back end. So I figured you would have something to touch on with that and kind of figuring out like,
the pressure on me.
Yeah, well, I know you talked about like the money market and how you got into your real estate stuff. So you don't have to really talk too much on that. But like, what were some things that, and I know you and I, Austin, are kind of working on this ourselves with some just collaborative stuff. But I do think about that sometimes. And it sounds like, you know, you always think of like multi-level marketing stuff when you hear like passive income. But I do think in today's day and age with the internet, it's so interesting to think that that can be, you know, through Instagram, through a site, through Shopify, like that can be something that you put work in towards something for, let's say, a month, and then you can get paid from it for the rest of the year. And like you're providing value to someone. But it's something I've been trying to think about as far as like, what are some other avenues I could go in?
Just like I always do, you went on quite a monologue that has me like, I have an idea.
Sorry.
No, it's good. But I like have like an answer, and then by the time you finish, I'm thinking about the next like thing or you said. But two things that kind of stuck out to me is one is I think one kind of phrase or lesson I learned from someone on a podcast was a similar thing, basically maximizing your time.
And not just directly trading it.
Yeah. And I think that's a good way to think about it, like practically, is think about how much you're getting paid hourly, basically, and how much you want to be paid hourly. So, like, how valuable do you think you are? Are you worth $200 an hour? So set that. Be like, okay, well, right now at my job with freelance, I'm making $60 an hour, but I want to be worth $200 an hour. So it's like, how do you get there? It's increasing your value. It's increasing different things, which leads me to another point of, I think a step that you could go is really focusing on with your freelance work, because obviously training, like you said, is very you have to fit in these certain time slots, and it's hard to just jack up your rate because you tell your clients, hey, I'm actually worth $200 an hour now.
Nothing will change, but things
you can't really do that as easy with that. With photography and videography and other things that you're passionate about, you have a bit more freedom to do that because A, a lot of times you're working with different clients, different businesses, and B, what I would recommend to you is, and you've kind of thought about it, is investing in more equipment that allows you to do more creative things. Because A, I think you can set yourself apart a little bit more. B, you can kind of just market that as additional value. And C, it might just give you that extra push that, hey, I bought this equipment. I need to make it count. I need to pick up more clientele. I'm excited to use it, and things like that. And maybe take the freelance service just a little bit more serious. Not that you don't take it serious now, but you kind of don't, and not to your fault, you don't really seek clients. Clients kind of come to you, which is good that you've been successful as you are just doing that or word of mouth. So I heard John laugh, and I was like, who is that? But I think that would be my advice. And via doing that, maybe trying to engage a little bit more with local businesses or offering this or that or investing in your equipment, you're able to kind of increase that hourly rate that you're worth. And via doing that, you're able to work the same amount of hours but make more money instead of just continuing to just fill up your schedule until you're just not really enjoying life as much because you're just working constantly, which I think every day you should spend some time working, but it's like how many hours and what your schedule looks like. So I think the more you can maximize the value and the money that you can make in a set period of time is obviously the goal, because there is only so much time in a day.
Thoughts?
I mean, I agree with it. There's not much I could put on top of that. I mean, besides repeating it, yeah,
that's
about
absolutely. And I kind of feel like, at least for me, I don't know about y'all, but I do love like more of entrepreneurial. Like I like that the days change. It's not just a set schedule or responsibilities. But I do also feel like when I sit down to do something, I like to just like chip away at it until it's done, and not just feel like, oh, I only have an hour to do this, and then so and so comes in, or like other things like that. So that's why I like sometimes, and I've been thinking about that, but like when we finish the show, I just like to finish editing it and get it done right there. Other things like that, to where it would be nice to start working more towards having like blocks of work throughout the day and just finishing things to completion, but doing that on your own schedule. So I don't know, I've just been thinking about that, as far as sometimes I feel like, okay, well, you know, now everything is good, or like things are going in the right direction, but I don't want to think about, okay, well, this is just it, you know, this is the future, you know. I want to keep thinking about other ways to maybe take a risk or to grow in some way, or other things like that.
Me too. I've been thinking about risk a lot lately, and it's like, am I risking enough?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like not that I risk currently, but when there's an opportunity there, I try and risk or invest into myself by putting more money into it. What's up?
Dang. Not trick today.
I know.
Got beefcake instead.
Beef. What's up? Make sure it isn't all over the place. Yeah, that goes in the trash.
Should have told her to bring the strawberry matcha.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, we got to hit this other one first. What is that?
Honey habanero?
No, I think we tried
Grapefruit.
the habanero, right?
Yeah.
My dad said the grapefruit's good. I don't think he's had it here or elsewhere.
I was about to say, because it hasn't really moved since then. The coffee has, though.
He hasn't dipped into the
I
100
feel like
proof
he's
yet.
diving in that
I think he tastes that almost every time. He's in there.
Probably.
It's like, let me make sure it still tastes good.
You know what? I don't think I've ever had that one. Yeah. Pours a
Got to make
glass.
sure it hadn't gone bad.
Drinking on the job.
I know.
But I will say with training, though, I feel the same way. It's like, I wish I had more blocks for work instead of an hour on, hour off, which unfortunately that's just the way it is, you know, because I can't force people to change their schedule, because, you know, I'm trying to work with them and be, you know, a better, you know, just try and help them out. That's my goal. But it does suck to start something and just realize, oh, well, I'm not going to see that for another 3 hours, and I probably won't be motivated to work on it. Or it's going to be that much harder to get back into the groove of working on it after 3 hours of training and getting back into it. So usually it's like, fuck. If I don't knock it out while I'm sitting down, it is tough to get back on with something.
That's true.
Yeah. But getting back to, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about, risk.
Oh, yeah.
Before she walked in, is that I want to be more conscious or aware on taking risk and actually doing it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like I'm kind of doing it now, but just haven't made the move yet. But like all the money I'm saving up to is to invest into myself, which I feel like, you know, isn't a risk because it's into myself. But at the same time, it's like, well, I could put that into a savings or,
it's
know,
hard
whatever.
sometimes, man. It's like, you know, I was thinking about this, like when we were going to buy, that machine package from Arsenal. It's like we can just sit comfy and rack up some money and then buy it once we have the money. But at some point, it's like, if I just sit and wait till I know I have all the money and it's paid off,
why not now?
That's going to be like 4 months from now. And then when I buy the machines, it's going to take another like 4 months to get here. It's like, fuck it. It's going to get paid for at some point. Let's put it on the credit card. Let's work and trust in your business that it's going to be successful and that you're going to be able to pay it off. Yeah. And it almost is a little bit of, A, it's really not even like that big of a risk, first off. And then B, it's, you know, what are you scared of applying a little bit of pressure to you to actually succeed, put in the work and be successful? So sometimes, you know, like we're talking about with SFP, it's like, you know, things are going to be tight, but at the same time, you just keep, you know, waiting and waiting and waiting. It kind of keeps the business at a walking pace instead of a jog and a sprint. And I get it, because it's like, again, you're like, why should I have to do it? Things are going good. But I feel like, I don't know, you gotta just get uncomfortable sometimes. I was thinking about it with the competition plates. I was like, we got all these things coming. Why do I need a, you know, I mean, just the few competition plates I just bought was like $1,300. Yeah. It's like, God damn, just for some more pounds. And I probably got to triple whatever I just bought. And so it's like, geez, you know, but I just sit and wait. By the time people actually want the plates, they're not here because I waited till we had the right members to buy it. So sometimes you got to just, I don't know, you got to have the product or service ahead of time and trust that you're marketing your business, the consumers will be there.
For sure.
It's uncomfy though.
Oh yeah. No, every day is like, especially days like this when you actually like sit down and look into it, every detail of the business, because it's obviously, like I mentioned, tax day. It's like, damn, maybe I am thinking a little bit bigger than I should, but it's like, am I thinking big at all though? Am I taking risk? You know, because that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, am I really aware? Am I taking enough risk? Probably not. If I have to ask myself that, probably not. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with you on the training split though. It's kind of tough.
The other thing, kind of going off that topic, was just kind of getting after stuff or self-doubt, kind of getting into your own head. And that was something else I was thinking about and talking about too, as far as having, and granted, like if you have a bit more of a following, I'm sure it's easier to kind of embark on other things and maybe have it at least break even or pay off. But just thinking about like all different things that my friend had done, as far as kind of doing different ebooks or like, you know, challenges, or kind of a daily workout thing that people like pay, you know, $5-8 a month to like sign up for, but you just post your lifts or whatever. And I just thought like, man, that's really cool to just like have an idea and then just do it and just see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then scrap it or figure out what went wrong. But I think about that a lot of like, I'm always like, dang, well, what do I bring to the table that's not already out there? And also, I know we've talked about this before, like everything's kind of unique to where people follow you for you.
Yeah.
But B, I also think like, man, well, what if I did this and then spent the money to like, you know, pay for like Shopify or keep it on a website, and then nobody cares, and then like I've just wasted money, and like other things like that too. But I almost feel like, you know, if you know you, or you know that you'll put effort or creativity or other things like that into something, and if people like are usually pretty receptive to it, then sometimes I feel like you can get surprised. So sometimes I'm thinking not just in terms of like, oh, what other ways can I make money, but I think about like there are a lot of things I'm interested in that I like to share with other people, and it would be really cool to like maybe have more of a long-term project or something like that to work on, and you know, see what the reception is too. So yeah. I don't know if y'all ever think about that too, as far as, I don't know, just feeling confident in what you bring to the table, or like when you do release something, or I know we've toyed around with like, you know, different product ideas or something like that, what the demand will be for that. But do you ever feel like you just get into your own head and think like, oh, well, so-and-so already does it better, or like, you know, I'm a little fish, so like who would even tune into what I have to say? Because I even felt like that with the podcast sometimes, of like, you know, what do I have to offer or like share that, you know, I'm not some guru or anything like that. Like, who cares? But it's been so nice to have different members, or people be like, man, I love it. Like, y'all are like characters or something I'm getting to know, or like, I love to listen. So it always just makes me feel, you know, we've talked about that before, but just really special to think like, hey, you know, maybe someone gets something.
They said they like me?
Yeah, they like me.
I feel like, and I feel like I come off this way, and I am for the most part a confident kind of person. You know, I feel like I'm able to do great things and to grow this or do that. But a lot of times I find myself mentally, I feel like handicapping myself more than I should in ways, you know, sometimes business related. I'm like, well, you know, I'm in this market, or I have this kind of money, so I can't expect to do this. Or with running, sometimes I'm like, well, I do all this bodybuilding, and you know, I'm doing this, so I can't expect to actually achieve this, or to do the marathon and also run the 5-minute mile in this time. Like, you know, and I feel like I just handicap myself and just say, oh, well, I don't have these genetics. I've never been a runner. And it's like, you know, sometimes I just gotta say, fuck that. I'd rather have high expectations for myself and believe I can achieve this thing and work towards it than not, you know. And like, you know, why can't I say, hey, fuck it, this gym can be like the best gym of Virginia, instead of already capping myself, being like, man, I just, you know, it's just gonna be whatever. Yeah. So that's what I'll say with that. And you know, even when it comes to my personal Instagram, one kind of change I made like a year and a half ago was I was like, you know, I want people to follow me for me. And so I did post more personal content, things like that, and stop kind of posting more general mobility or tips and things like that. And, you know, I think you do go through periods where you're like, man, no one cares about this stuff. Like, you get your comments, or you get a few likes, you might get like 0 comments. You're like, no one's paying attention. I'm not special. But I think at the end of the day, you have to almost, at minimum, post and present yourself as if you think you're important. And part 2, which is a lot easier to do, or it's easier to do part 1 if you do part 2, is actually believe that you are special, that you're worth following, that what you're doing is important, that, you know, the workouts I do, the businesses I'm kind of helping create, that is important, that I'm worth someone tuning into and paying attention to. And I think when you present that to people, eventually they do catch on. Eventually you are interesting. And, you know, I was telling you, Griffin, yesterday, and something I've hit on this podcast a million times, but it's worth just saying it almost every time, is that continue to create, continue to do things, because eventually something sticks. Eventually people latch onto that. If you're constantly in this like stagnant place where you don't want to start something because there's already pre-workouts out there. You don't want to start a gym. There's already gyms out there. Who's going to pay, you know, $40 a month to come to this gym just because it looks a little different? Or, you know, who's going to pay for that cookbook? You know, people can just look up free recipes online.
Yeah.
You do that, nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah.
But at least if you're constantly creating and believing and presenting yourself as important, as worth value, then eventually someone's going to give a shit. And people have, you know, whether it's the 10,000 shorts or the content I post, or people tell me, oh, they started running because of me. It's like, my runs are shit, you know, my pace is shit, but people give a fuck, you know, whether I think they do or they don't, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
What I thought about when you were talking earlier was the money part. You know, putting money into a website or a product or whatever you're trying to create. And I feel like I've learned at first, I was like, man, dude, this shit's expensive, or it costs too much money, or blah, blah, blah. But one thing I try and remind myself is, you know, it costs money to make money, or spend money to make money type deal. That's so true. Knowing that, you know, the money will eventually come back.
Yeah.
But I also need to figure out how to make more money to spend the money to make more money. You know, it's a tough, I guess, balance or cycle that I'm trying to figure out at least.
That's true.
It is what it is.
That is a good point. I remember back in the day you had your safe and you had some stuff saved up and then just decided to pull the trigger and use it for something else. And
which I still like kind of have that safe, and I still have some cash in it, blah, 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 but not as much as it used to be. Yeah. But it's all wrapped up in Doge.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to be the real sleeper.
Yeah. Which, by the way, let me actually take a peek at that. So I'm invested in Dogecoin. I think Brock has a couple bucks in it too.
So start giving some financial advice. This is Austin's coin.
We're not a hot day right now. Not a hot day. I've seen better days.
How are you talking about Doge?
Me having money setting aside to put money into stuff.
Oh.
But Doge isn't my best thing I've done, but it's not negative right now.
We talked about this the other day. I think, you know what, if your aspirations are pretty straightforward and simple, you want to work the job you're working now for the most part, and you just want to be financially stable and successful in the long run, invest all your money in stocks, bonds, ETFs, smartly, do your thing. But if you want to like love the youth of your life, love what you're doing job-wise, take chances, be passionate, be an entrepreneur, you need to stop investing in like these other businesses and invest in yourself, whether it be your own personal brand or buying equipment or taking a chance. You need to, like I could dump all the money I did into the gym into stocks and be fucking rich in my 50s or later in life, but I just spent 20, 30 years being a personal trainer, or, you know, I go to college, work whatever, and just, you know, not be happy.
I'm just scared I won't make it to that.
Yeah.
What if you don't?
Well, that too. There's no guarantee
50?
You're going to make it at 50.
You know?
So you can just kiss your money, like, to your family or whatever. But it's like...
And then also I feel like you spend all those years with this vision of like, oh, when I get to 50. And
then you get fucking prostate cancer
like,
or lung cancer.
How about, you know what I
told
myself?
Or you get there and it's not that great.
And what I told myself was, instead of, you know, when I get to 50, I was like, I'm going to save everything I can for 2 years. I'm going to spend it and make this gym a reality. And then you fucking do it. And then it's like, okay, now it's on to the next goal, you know? And it's, I just feel like these people just, it's the smart thing to do, but if everyone's doing it, that tells you you're going to get the same results as everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just something people overlook. It's like you're giving all your money to these banks, to these institutions that you think they don't know that, what money you're making from them. They're making even more off you. So you're just giving them your money. Why don't you take your money, spend your own money to build your own brand, your business, things like that, And then, you can from the profit you're making from your business, then you can invest way more.
Yeah.
So I'd rather people take risks when they're young, when they don't have, I don't know, some people have a fuck ton of debt, but, if you're at college or whatever, but you'd rather take a risk when you're young and you can pay it off later in life or figure things out than, try and take risks when you're 40, 50. You can't do that. Oh, now that you got all your money, you're going to start living life. You waited way too long to live life.
Yeah.
All right. So questions from the listeners. Thank you, listeners. Question says, if you could have a free, all-inclusive trip to train at any gym in the country for a week, what would it be and why?
I don't know many gyms, which is fucked.
I don't know, other than like more of the main. You know where
That's
I
what
go?
I'm saying.
You know where to go?
Where?
This might throw you for
Iron Built.
No, throw you for a tailspin. Gold white now. No, it'd be I don't know where the headquarters is, but Revive MD. They're like headquarter gym.
Oh,
I think it's in
I saw their
Nashville.
Instagram.
It looks cool. Looks cool. They have like everything you'd want for the most part. That'd be pretty cool.
I think they make their money through like pharmaceuticals. They also have a supplement line.
Their supplement line is
they do
pharmaceutical branded,
But no, they also have like I think either hormone like replacement therapy or something that they sling under that too.
I don't think it's actually technically
Injectables.
Pharmaceuticals. I think it's just they make a pill for your liver, your heart, your brain. They have like a million pills that they sling money though. You can just tell because they just have everything.
Yeah, I came across this shit. I ain't
but
pulling it back up.
That's where I go.
Yeah,
I've already been, but honestly, I just love Venice Mecca Golds. And pre-COVID, I would say, just because they're kind of crappy now. Like, I don't think they even are open anymore as far as they haven't opened back up. But I will say, like, when I went, it's such a cool feeling. A, just California. B, knowing that how many other, like, greats have been there. Seeing, like, the pictures on the walls. It is pretty big on the inside. And then also just, like, being in the gym, looking over and being like, oh, that's so-and-so. Like, they're just training just like any other person. It's not like they're making a big scene. But I feel like it would be, like, a quiet inspiration while you're in there to just be like, is that Mike O'Hearn?
You'd have to be at there at 3 a.m.
Yeah. On the treadmill?
Yeah.
Well, I think the only gym that I never took advantage of it. I think at least went once, if not twice. Never took advantage of it when it was open. Was the Warhouse gym?
Oh yeah.
Even though there's nothing around there, I would not want a vacation there in Reading.
Yeah, Amish country.
It was in the middle of fucking nowhere, but the gym was super cool when I went. At least once, if not twice, but. I never went into the basement part of it. Like, it was always so packed when I went there that I just didn't do a whole lot. But that's one gym that I can think of. Besides that, I see out in California, which I wouldn't want to go to California even if you paid me right now. Might as well be a different country. Mm-hmm. But going to, I don't remember the gym's name. It's
Planet Fitness?
Artemis Doggan trains there sometimes. Start with the S. Stanford's or it's like an old school bodybuilding gym. Stearns. Yeah. I see videos and pictures from that. I'm like, damn. Some of the shit in there looks shoddy. Yeah. But I feel like it would be a cool experience, and I'd like just for a week just to train there every day to see what the vibe's like. No headphones, like that's retro everything. Yeah.
That's true. Some of those old school dumbbells look pretty cool too.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it does look pretty.
Is it Stearns?
Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, dude, pull it up.
America's oldest gym, 1946.
That's old as fuck.
And then the other question I got was, I forgot Brock asked me one. What is your opinion on training with RPE?
Never done that.
I've never done that. I always have liked the mentality of like, and granted, I don't really do strength stuff, but like I don't like to feel like I've left reps in the tank usually. So usually I kind of just set like a rep goal and then have that kind of be your RPE. Like if it's 15 reps, your RPE probably won't be as high as like 8 reps or something.
I'd say if you're bodybuilding, you should never really go under 8 RPE on really anything. if you're powerlifting, it matters a lot more because you're just measuring off, you just got a lot more numbers to play with, more science that goes into it. Your CNS to deal with and things like that to really maximize your performance on those lifts.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a slippery slope for most people just because, how do you know when you're being a little bitch, or how do you know, exactly what that's looking like? But I think it's a good way to go for some people. I think, the approach I usually take a little bit is if I know I'm having like a weak day, nothing fucks me up more when I try and do my usual weight when I start an exercise and I just shit the bed from that and then I have to back off. I'd rather start light and then kind of measure where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, I'm just going to do the 75s on incline today. I don't got the juice.
Yeah.
Then try and do my 90s anyway. And then just be pissed because I'm getting like 4 reps. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like that's what I'll say as far as like I don't really use RP, but I will perceive my own exertion and kind of know how I'm feeling for the day, especially when I'm in a cut. Like you can't just try and force yourself to do the same way. You either got it or you don't.
Yeah. So like effort is better than numbers.
Yeah.
Like, it's better to have consistent at work level or effort than like consistent.
You're asking a bunch of bodybuilders though, so we're not gonna have the answer you want.
Never looked it up, never done it.
No.
Yeah.
I just go and lift weight.
I mean, dead serious today, I didn't have a goal in mind. I was just push until I couldn't push anymore. Like until my lungs were cooked, heart was roasted.
I will say I never really go to and I don't think it's that smart to go to absolute failure on like heavy compounds.
Yeah.
I think you should leave 1 to 2 reps in the tank, at least until like the last set. And if it's an exercise you can do like to failure, like you could do barbell rows to like, failure. But I wouldn't honestly do a squat or bench to failure where every time you do a set, someone's got to spot you.
No.
I think that's stupid.
There is a certain percentage though that you do have to base it off of. 10% luck. 20% skill,
15% concentrated power of will. Oh
Damn.
shit!
Yeah,
you got
that was all
bars.
my question.
Bars.
I got one. Hold on. Well, one for me. I'll answer real quick. Has your diet changed since you started running more? No. I do pay a little bit more of attention to what I eat before my runs, as far as like not just eat more carbs, but also my electrolytes, my fuel, and making sure it is something that's going to digest comfortably in my system. It's not going to make me feel heavy. But the biggest thing for me is just making sure I'm hydrated and have enough electrolytes. I really overlooked not just sodium, but potassium, magnesium, things like that you sweat out a lot, especially as the weather's gotten hotter. So really diet hasn't changed, but I am focusing on kind of drinking more electrolytes before and after runs. From our boy Gino. Shout out to Gino.
Big G.
What thing do you see at the gym that makes you cringe? To me, it's like sloppy form. Like I talked to you about this. Some people, will get on that Star Trek row and load up 2 plates, and I immediately know they fucked up because, granted, I'm not the strongest guy.
Or they're juiced.
I don't expect to be, I'm stronger than every member that comes here. I'm definitely not. But I do a plate on there for like 10 reps, and it's pretty
hard,
difficult.
yeah.
And I could see doing a plate and quarter, but it's usually dudes that are smaller than me, and I know that are weaker, that are doing like 2 plates on there with sloppy form. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, something's got to feel wrong. You got to just feel it and be like, this probably doesn't look or feel right. So that kind of makes me cringe. That, and then the pickiness of me would just be, people dropping dumbbells or something, and I can just hear them rattle a little bit, and I'm like, you're loosening up my dumbbells.
Yeah.
But
the dumbbell banging, I would say dumbbell throwing. Definitely does.
Yeah, luckily no one's really thrown shit here, but I'm sure, some of the heavier boys have gotten dropped a little bit from a decent distance, so.
Or also sometimes I feel like that I used to see a lot in Golds, which I think when we were training in the morning together, remember that one person that was doing like the rack pulls? And it was just like atrocious. And then set after set, he's going up. Like, I don't know. It's just surprising to me sometimes when it's already like cringeworthy. And then it's like, they really think they can do more. So
I don't know if I have anything that's cringeworthy. I mean, yes, shit like that is cringy, but like, I usually don't pay attention to anybody. Unless I'm not lifting, then I'll watch people more. But usually I'm just like,
Austin's so in the zone. Yeah. I've literally stood like right near him or like right in front of him, and he won't even notice I'm there. And then later I'll say, "Did you see me standing like right in front of you?" You're like, "What?" Like, I didn't
like
even
a
notice.
shark, dog.
Yeah.
Eyes turn black, and
It's
I'm
like when
Yeah.
he smells blood, his
Yeah.
pupils just die.
You
I don't know.
literally,
Usually
you literally
my
have
music-
like the view of like if you were looking through a straw.
Yeah.
Is like what you have.
my music's so loud that I
funny.
usually don't hear when people are talking to me. That's
Yeah.
like when people say what's up to me, I'll usually give them a peace sign or something because
Yeah.
I don't hear a fucking word you're saying.
Austin, your
His body-
product sucks.
Yeah.
All right,
Body
Yeah.
produces
give them a thumbs up.
DMHA.
Yeah,
man.
usually
Yeah.
my ears might be bleeding because it's so
Oh,
loud.
shit.
And usually I don't know. I just like to keep I like to keep it moving. you
Yeah.
know, when I'm training.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that I'm like a specimen to look at, but it's just that's the way I like to train. I just like to like keep pushing, keep
Yeah.
pushing. Once I'm
Yeah.
done though, I'm chilling. But I will answer some of my questions that I got. So come on, bitcho. Here we go. I don't know why I have Twitter. I need to like get rid of the notifications on Twitter.
Yeah.
When you giving up on them locks, bruh? You know damn well what that hat's covering.
Who said that?
My brother. Wesley, not Jake. I still got
I'm
some
trying
hair
to
on top
talk
of my
you
head.
you should just go with the bald
I'm about to
look.
go bald, but Sarah, I mean, she's married to me. She can't go away.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's
She's
what
really
they
gonna
say.
bitch
The
about it.
10-year
She said-
trial has
yeah.
come to
That
Well-
can't be better than like bald.
Right? But she's like, nope.
Oh my god.
Anyways, it's not going anywhere. At least I might cut it. We'll see. It's getting
You gotta
hot.
trim the back. The
Well, yeah,
neck hair is
that-
getting bad.
That
The
shit's
neck,
bad.
yeah.
And you know what? I haven't got it cut in probably 3 months. Ever since Hawaii, pretty much. I think it was the last time I got it cut.
It's gotten furry.
So I've just been cheap. I don't want to spend the $20 to go get
Bro,
it cut.
just buy.
I'll give you a great clip.
I'm telling you, man.
I got a
bought-
trimmer.
I
If
bought
you don't
Maddie
mind
the
that it trims
$20
other
clippers.
things.
I bought her these $20 clippers. You can just fucking
Buzz
do
it.
it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I
At
need
least
somebody to hit
buzz
the
it.
back
Yeah.
because I can't do the back.
You could probably get the back.
Give you a line up.
Can't fuck it up
I
more
can,
than it's
I
already
can touch
fucked
up
up.
the back. If you were
Thanks.
gonna do the majority of it, I
Yeah.
can touch up the back.
Next question is, what is your favorite pump in the gym? I'm not sure.
What does that mean?
Like favorite body part to get a pump
Oh,
Oh, of course. Probably have to be arms. It's the easiest thing to get a pump in. A second of that would be shoulders.
I get a pump in my back the easiest, and I feel big when I do that. But the best feeling is probably a chest pump.
in. See, I feel like I don't know if y'all ever feel like this, but if I get a good back pump, sometimes I feel like I naturally get a chest pump too. Especially doing things like a V-bar pull down or like heavier things.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
get
feel
that.
like I don't know. It's
I
been a
know.
while
I
since
can
wore
get
a
how you
string
could
though.
though. I feel like I've had someone say that before.
Arms. For
Yeah,
me.
especially a good forearm one.
Yeah. Jerking it. Next question. Which we never really settled this after the last show, is can't wait to see the arm wrestling match this week.
Oh,
Oh yeah, dang.
Yeah. We'll have to
It's
set that up. I'm still not willing to blow my shit out to try and beat one of y'all, though, because that's what's going to happen. I'm going to blow my bicep out or the shoulder rotator cuff
Yeah.
because I got ego and pride that's going to blow that shit off.
I don't feel like it's worth it doing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to blow my shit
Who
out.
even does arm wrestling?
I'll do it.
But you're a lefty, though.
Well, I'll win.
Yeah. Next one is, there is a second part to that. What's everybody's max bench?
300.
285.
I don't know. I guess the last time I did it, I did a set of 5 for 275, so I don't know what that would
Hey.
make.
Close to 315.
So I've never done like a 1 rep, or it's been years. So next question. Personal goals for the rest of this year. I don't have any, unfortunately.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's
Yeah.
your biggest mistake.
I just show up.
I'm
and I-
look on a personal level. That's your
Brock's
biggest
gonna
mistake,
put it on
man.
the calendar.
You
for
got- gotta
I need
fucking
to sit
set
down
some
and do
goals,
it.
man.
I say I'm going to do it, and then like I'll start getting busy with the day, and I'm just like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You need. I'm telling you, you don't pay me to do it, so I won't do it. But you need to just do this for yourself. You need to have like a 5-bullet checkpoint of something every day that you need to knock out.
Powerless.
Well,
You
I
used
do-
to do
I-
that.
well, yeah, I
Because you're
used to.
willing to do the work.
Yes.
It's just you need to know what.
But
to
I
do.
don't know personally what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I want more money, yes. I
Yeah.
want to look better, yes. It's like, but what detail? I
Yeah.
mean, that's very broad, vague. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't-
take some.
It's hard to,
like I don't want to.
solidify.
I mean, I don't care to
Gotta take
compete.
some DMT
I
and
don't-
really get down to it.
I don't care to pull a bunch of weight or squat a
Yeah.
bunch of weight. It's like, what do I want then? I don't know. It's a fucking weird question. It's an important question, but a weird question for me because I don't know.
Is there a physique that you'd emulate?
No.
Wanna?
just my best. I don't know.
Goals for
I
me.
hate to say that. It sounds gay.
I'm being a little bitch about, especially with this injury, has me questioning whether I can get the mile time done this year. But I already hit the 500-pound deadlift goal. I'm 100%. I'm going to get that marathon done before the end of the year. And then I want to cap out our memberships by the end of the year. So if you don't know, we're going to cap our memberships at most 200 members, but we might cap at 180. So get them while they're hot because we're already at like mid-130s. But I'd like to just grow enough that we can cap that off. And like I said, we got more equipment coming, but maybe we can get a few things in before the end of the year. But just completely continue to grow the gym, renovate some things, just make it better, and especially as we come up on 1 year. Also just continue to help GYMFLO grow, blow that shit up, SFP moving.
Yeah.
And just take everything up a notch. Take all my homies up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of us
all
going
the boys
up the ladder.
ride.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got the Tesla.
Yeah.
Loaded up.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to talk more about the goals after this because it's just I've never done that in my life. Have you? Personal goal.
I used to, but it was just one of those things like, oh, eventually I want to do this.
I just like
Yeah.
I don't know where to start,
get y'all on
dude.
track, man.
Yeah.
Like
I gotta get y'all on track.
for you to pick, like this might help other people out there. For you to pick, all right, I want to run a marathon. I mean, for me to like set a goal, not to run a marathon, but for something like that, I don't care to do it. So
Yeah.
Why?
It's one of those things that
Like I don't know where you get. Like obviously you liked that running. You were like, fuck it, let me end goal would be run a bunch.
Part of it is just I look at someone who's badass and I'm like, fuck it. Why can't I do that shit?
But
Like,
why should I do it? When there's so many other things you could do, but who knows what to do? I mean, not to say
I just like
not to say it's-
discomfort. I think
Okay.
that's what it is. I think I just like always having something to like work towards and something that just makes me uncomfortable. Like I already know after I run the marathon, my goal is a 30 kilometer or 30 miles,
So-
then a 50. Then I'm running 100 miles
Yeah.
before I'm 25.
And
like I'm
here's
doing a
my
mile race.
speaking it
thoughts.
into existence.
I'm fucking
Is
doing it.
like my client Laura. She's gonna do a 30-miler here soon. She's been running for years, whatever, college runner and whatnot. But if even for a marathon, it's less than 30 miles. I know I could do a marathon within that time period, but would I run it? No. Would I walk run it? Maybe.
Well, let's take it out of like the running
it's
thing
like-
because your running isn't your thing.
No,
let's
but-
say the goal is like with GYMFLO. Where do you want GYMFLO to be a year from now?
bigger than it is.
That's the problem. It's gotta have. I think it doesn't even have to be just objective goals like this amount of income. Although I know we talked about that at the start of the year. But it also needs to be how many SKUs do you want? How many different products do you want?
Enough
how many
to
flavors?
not run out.
Yeah. How many flavors of Overcome?
Yeah.
Oh, you want. This is great. Let's have a protein powder in 2022.
Yeah,
Let's
but
have
this
2-3
is
flavors of
personal
it.
goals, though.
I know, but personal is always connected to business.
Well, I guess
you know?
so. When it is me, but like when I see personal goals, it's like, oh, well, can I do 20 pull-ups and a fucking
Maybe
and
personal
run?
goal is, hey, let's touch up this physique. Let's get down to a leaner 180. Let's bring up your back. Maybe it's not performance related.
Getting back to I think an episode ago, like when you don't have an end goal though, but like it's like, well, what's the weight going to be? What's the
I
end
don't know.
date? You know, I'm not trying to like
No, I
be
know.
devil's advocate,
No,
but
I
it's
know.
like
It's
I don't
hard when
see,
your goals
like,
aren't like specific, like run a marathon. Like
Yeah.
if my goal is like golden era physique, what is that? Or if
But-
my goal is to like have the garden be successful, like
Yeah.
what is that? It's more of like a habit.
That's a good
versus,
question
like
to ask, though. So, like, you'd say golden era physique. I get what you're saying, and I think that is a tough goal to objectify. But I think you could look at that and say, okay,
I
this
need
year,
to improve.
yeah, I'm going to bring up my lateral delts. I'm going to work on these poses
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
by October,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
going to,
too
like,
good.
achieve that. I know. I'm fucking... bro, you can't beat me. Or the garden, you say, okay, I'm going to start my first crop now, see how that goes. I want 3 different crops by the end of the year growing in my backyard. So it's like you got to take a goal that's a fair goal to have. I want to have more money. What does that look like? How much is that? Do you go from
does it
40
come
grand
from?
a year?
Yeah.
I want it to be 100 grand a year. How are you going to get there? Okay, well then it connects to business goal.
work more.
Yeah.
Work more, or maximize your time,
Mhm.
make more value for your money. So I think you just need to they're the right questions to ask, but it's like everyone's making broad goals. Make yourself a step further by objectifying your goals.
Yeah.
Then once they're objectives, you can actually take action to achieve them.
For sure. I get that. And that's why I guess some days I'll come in, or almost every day, it's just like, oh, what can I do today?
I know.
Instead of like, hey, what am I doing this week? Or what am I doing this month?
That's true.
But it's still, when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I would do for myself, though.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes, man. I feel the same way sometimes with the gym. I'm like, what can I do today to make
and
it better?
Makes me,
sometimes
it makes me wonder, it's like, why the fuck 500-pound deadlift? Why not be a powerlifter?
Sometimes it's that, though. It's why not? Why not do the 500-pound deadlift? You know, I know. like why am I running 30 miles a week? Why are you not running 30
miles? And I get it. I'm setting myself up with this question because I know what's going to happen. But it's like, well, what does that 500-pound deadlift do for me?
Yeah.
I think that,
or what is it going to make me better at? But I get it.
I know the answer.
It's because it's the work. It's you getting uncomfortable.
I feel like Trump at the debate. Actually, I'll answer this one.
And it's you getting uncomfortable
100%
during that situation and through that journey.
It's the skills you gain that make you way better at everything else you do. Running these miles alone. I haven't ran a marathon. I haven't done these things that maybe someone will look at one specific day and be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's the mental fortitude I gain from it. It's the brand awareness I get from being involved with running. It's the diversity of my skills that carry over to business, that make me a lot more hard-edged mentally, that make me have more of a disciplined plan because I've been able to say, man, I don't feel like running 12 miles today. Fuck, I got to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. That mental fortitude helps me work longer hours, helps me put up with other things in life that normally I wouldn't be able to from the skills I've gained from doing these uncomfortable things. I feel like I'm constantly uncomfortable or have something to pay off or this or that to do, and it makes me just way better at life. So whenever stress does come my way, I can handle it a lot better.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
we'll have to brainstorm.
I'll need to actually set down.
I'll get you on.
Time to get a
How much is this coaching going to cost me?
Yeah. Life coaching available.
$250 liquid.
Venmo.
Brock Covington, yeah.
No Cash App.
Yeah, no, we don't do Cash App.
But thank you. That was actually from Caleb.
That's a good way to end the podcast. I'm fire.
Caleb, and thank you, man. I'm gonna actually probably have to DM you personally what my goals are since you asked, because that put some pressure on me. Last thing, real quick. Were you good on time?
Got like 10 minutes.
Okay. Last thing we'll polish off with this is pros and cons of hiring an online coach. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to you? That's the question. You know, do you feel like you lack, discipline to do something, or you're just going through the motions? I mean, right? Like, it might not be worth it to some, but is it worth it to you?
That's true. I think sometimes it shows you your own shortcomings. Like, I would say I definitely like following orders sometimes versus being the one in charge. But I also will say that it makes me realize when I've done it, like, oh, well, nobody's going to like hold your hand through everything. And you have to also realize that just because you pay somebody to do something, it doesn't take away the day-to-day work. Like, it might just help you maybe feel like you have guidelines to follow, but you're still going to be the one that's accountable for you.
Yeah.
They're not going to like check in on you all the time.
There's a couple questions,
which I like too.
There's a couple questions you got to ask yourself. Is like, one, what are you hoping to get out of like the life or the fitness coach? Two, it's like, do you plan on having this coach for the rest of your life? Because if not, then you got to ask yourself, or like in that first question, are you hiring this person to, fix you or to get you on track and then you're going to cure it yourself? Or you're hiring this person to gain some knowledge on how they structure things, and you're actually going to basically, instead of exchanging your time to learn it yourself, you're going to pay them to kind of get a feel for what you should do. If that's the case, all right, that makes sense. If it's not the case and you're just hiring this person to get you on track, as soon as you're done with them, like you said, they're not going to hold your hand through, you're going to fall off. So you need to almost have an exit strategy if you are going to get an online coach. Or, you could loosely work with them for a while, especially if they are doing mostly like exercise programming. They're working you through something, that's fine. It is different for everyone too, because exercise isn't everyone's life. So, if you're not constantly surrounded by fitness and you just want someone else to worry about it, that's different too. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, like you said, Griffin, it's got to be discipline and interest on your own end to be better, or to touch up your diet. It can't be only because this coach, because as soon as you're done with them, you're back off track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's got to be the power within.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, guys, thank y'all for tuning in for this show. Hopefully you made it this far. Make sure you follow us on...
You're missing out.
Yeah,
there's some gems.
There are some gems.
Yeah, more to come. Hopefully...
Tell us your goals. Comment.
Comment.
Share the podcast.
Also, we still have some coasters left, so if you share the show, I'll send you a coaster. Make sure you tag me in your story, or at least, one of us, one of the three.
There's hidden images in this coaster.
Yeah, because we got quite a few left. So let us know. Share the show on your social media. Leave us a comment review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. I don't know if you can do that on Spotify. Anyways, that helps us out a ton and getting some awareness and reach. Make sure you follow us all on social media, description below, so you can answer or ask us questions for next Monday's show. Until next guy, Until next time, guys, we are out of here. See y'all.